Morgan to throw. Lofts one near side for Tyler Johnson. He has the catch down the sideline. Touchdown!
Our offense is really just focused on the details, and we got a lot of weapons.
Two very explosive receivers, and I'd make an argument they've got more than just two.
All I got to do is put in the zip code, and they're going to come down with it and make something happen.
We tend to just go out there and have fun and make plays. You know, when our number is called, when we do our job, good things can happen.
The key to slowing them down, you know, is just limit the big play, getting 11 hats to the football.
Martinez under pressure, and Orr with the sack.
Incredibly athletic. It's one of the most athletic defenses we've played. They fly around everywhere.
It's actually fun watching their defense play.
We're trying to be the most nasty 11 players in the whole stadium. We want people to fear us, we want people to feel us every time we touch them.
Y'all smell that? It was me.
Welcome to Countdown to College Game Day, presented by Samsung QLED. We've made our way to the frozen tundra. It's Thanksgiving Saturday, which can only mean one thing. It's rivalry week. Minnesota taking on Wisconsin. And oh, by the way, there's a lot on the line. Big Ten West title. What else is on the line? The Paul Bunyan Axe.
Oh!
But we're not here to chop anything down. We're here to row the boat. PJ Fleck has us here. We know that the Minnesota Gophers are legit this year. 10 wins, a top 5 win, and an opportunity to beat their rival again. Remember, they ended a 14-year losing streak to those bad boys. We're the bad boys and girl. Here with you on Twitter for the rest of the day, Pat McAfee, Maria Taylor. We've got Jason Fitz and David Pollack. Before we really get into anything, I just want to review our favorite rivalry games when we played. David, you go first, because I bet you have some good stories.
Favorite
Yes.
or biggest? Because there is a big difference.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What's your favorite?
Favorite was, my favorite was probably Georgia-Auburn. Georgia-Auburn was good old-fashioned hate. There was a lot of people that didn't like each other, and we won a lot, so that was very good. The biggest rival is Georgia and Florida, and that didn't go as well.
That didn't go well for you.
I was 1-0, because they remember what you do last. They don't remember what you do first. So
Okay.
1-0, but Georgia-Florida.
I'm surprised you didn't put Georgia Tech in that bad boy. I hated Tech.
Yeah, but they weren't any good, so it wasn't really hard.
Yikes, no shots at the Hokies there.
So many shots fired.
I played in West Virginia. We had the backyard brawl against Pitt. Heartbreaking memories for me, but that's what builds a good rivalry. Everything is exposed. Everything is magnified, especially when there's this much hate, which is what I love, what a good rivalry is.
You weren't there for the year, were you?
Oh, yeah.
You were there for the year?
Yeah. Many people will say that is my fault. Yeah, it's not good. I still get messages to this day, and that's what rivals do, though, especially with a lot on the line. I still get messages to this day. I still think about it whenever I go to sleep at night. Pollack.
That's what a rivalry is. That's exactly
That's what it's supposed to do.
Do you have any great rivals from
You know what? Amazingly, Juilliard Athletics doesn't have
Is there a Rudolph? Is there a rival for Rudolph?
I got.
Blitzen is the biggest
we
rival.
all know that I didn't play any college sports. Just look around the size of us, and we're fully aware of the fact that there was no. Yeah, Juilliard Athletics still undefeated. I'm just saying, still undefeated.
Juilliard?
Yeah. No, there's no athletic department.
Them boys were mean on the piano, though. I heard them. They're rivals.
Yeah, I got nothing. On rivalries, but I do know that there were some good games last night.
All right.
Let's take you through a couple of things you need to know about last night.
I watched every single one.
Did you really?
Me too, Maria. Hey.
This will be repetitive for you, but not for everybody watching.
Okay, thank you.
Let's take a look at Iowa, Nebraska. Last night, Nebraska. Iowa, number 17, taking on Nebraska. Iowa's Keith Duncan drills a 48-yard field goal with 1 second left. That gives Iowa the win in this game. And as you watch Iowa ripping through
that was an interesting targeting call that was not called. That was called targeting and then reviewed, but actually stopped the clock late, got everybody organized and gave them a chance because there was no timeouts. But this right here was the second kick. Second one, not the first one. Had to do it again. Did you see the kiss blown to Scott Frost?
I love it.
I mean, I love the shade.
In Nebraska, no shame.
And he gets a scholarship out of that. He was given a scholarship after the game. We love those moments. But also, let's acknowledge that things have not gone as well for Nebraska as people expect. I mean, Nebraska at this point, 5-7.
Yeah.
That's not where any of us saw, even early in the season. Pollack, we didn't think that's where Nebraska was going to be.
Some people picked this as their sleeper team to even get to the final, the college football playoff. Some people thought they would be in the Big Ten championship game. Some people thought they would be better than both these teams playing here today. But I'll tell you what, Frost had a lot of confidence in his ability to go. I think he didn't realize Nebraska's a little different animal. Like Central Florida, This team is way more talented than the Nebraska team that he went to. It's going to take time to build. Going to have to
build depth. Yeah, he's got to build depth. I think Adrian Martinez, we were expecting a little bit more, too, from the quarterback position this season, but he just
stay healthy.
He did.
He's going to have to stay healthy for a whole season, too.
Yeah.
That'd be helpful.
Well, another big game last night, and this is one that we've been paying attention to. We obviously were in Memphis a few weeks ago. Cincy takes on Memphis in an AAC matchup that has some real implications in the process of this win. Memphis wins last night 34-24 over 19th-ranked Cincy. As a result, Memphis gets their first 11-win season, their 500th win in program history, and they'll now host the AAC Conference title game next weekend. Memphis running the ball.
Who are they going to play next weekend?
They're going to play Cincinnati, so
that?
they get the rematch. This is important, though, because the winner next weekend is likely going to get a spot in the New Year's Six Bowl, which is a level of shine I don't think we expected for Memphis, a team that lost 2 star players to the NFL draft this year. I don't think we were expecting Memphis, Marie, to come out and be this good.
No, not at all. But after doing that Memphis game, I'll tell you what, everyone's believing in Mike Norvell, everything that he's preached. Coxey's been playing very, very well from the wide receiver position. I feel like they have a lot of great skill players. They have a lot of speed on the perimeter. They're fun to watch and be around.
You want the good news or the bad news if you're a Memphis fan?
Oh, you're going to
Bad news.
Say their coach is going to leave.
Boom.
Say it.
Great news, you had a great season. You're going to play for the championship. Bad news, your coach is probably going to be elsewhere.
Had such a great season.
They got to start like a bake sale or something, because every dollar counts right now. Like Girl Scout cookies to keep coach. There's one other game we want to make sure you know about from last night, and that's Texas Tech. Texas fell behind 14-0, then they woke up and decided just to absolutely throttle Texas Tech at that point. So they turn around and get the 49-24 win over Texas Tech. So
we're going to talk about on game day today.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Texas is back.
Get the preview.
Oh, wait. Might have been a little premature on that. I mean, just the struggles of Texas has been real since, I mean, really the last, 4 or 5 years of Mac Brown obviously was a struggle. And then Charlie Strong, it got worse. Tom Herman, you thought it turned the tide and came back. But they've had at least 4 losses in the last 10 years. Yeah. Seasons at least 4 losses.
Well, Texas, listen, they might be bad, but I'll tell you what's good. Pat McAfee learning all about the game day traditions, and he's up on the stage right now to find out one that's our favorite before the show.
That's right, Maria. I think the thing I've learned about most and love the most is when Lee Corso, the legend, does the helmets every single week. It gets this crowd going. Kirk, by the way, you look great today. How long has he been doing this for?
You, by the way. Oh, man, we've been doing this for 15 years. It's like you're a big-time wrestling guy.
Love the wrestling.
He's like the bad guy, big-time wrestler. The guy in the corner that's throwing a chair at somebody, that kind of thing. That's what he does. So he taunts the crowd, gets them excited for the Minnesota hat. Then he goes, oh, really? How about that Wisconsin? Yeah. And then hey, and then ha, and then ho. That's his whole thing.
All right, and this happens every single week. It's before it goes on air, so a lot of people don't get to see it. It's magical.
Usually they kill the music. I don't know where Mike is. Kill the music.
Kirk's directing things here. Let's get the music done. Let's take the techno to a 1. Let's bring the Corso to a 10. The place is about to lose their minds. Ladies and gentlemen, watch a man maestro a crowd like Coach Lee Corso. Give it to him. Give it to him. To hell with it. Beautiful every time.
Oh, watch now. He'll say to me, works every time. What?
Every time.
Back to you, Maria.
Thanks, Pat. Again, that's one of our favorite traditions that we have here at Game Day. Right now, you're watching Countdown to Game Day, presented by Samsung QLED, Pat McAfee, Maria Taylor, Jason Fitz, and David Pollack, all here with you because there's a lot on the line here in Minnesota. Minnesota taking on Wisconsin today at 3:30 on ABC. Game Day coming up at 9 a.m. Eastern, and they're playing for a Big Ten West, and they're playing for the opportunity to get the Paul Bunyan Axe, which Minnesota has right now.
Can we also just say maybe they're playing for a playoff spot? Come on.
Maybe a playoff spot. Listen, there's implications all over them. A Rose Bowl berth. There's a lot on the line right now for both teams.
Well, yeah, and when you look at this, Maria, and you think about what all that means, the end of the day, for this program, when you look at Minnesota, the shine they're getting through this season is what they want to capitalize on. I mean, the opportunity for the Rose Bowl specifically, I don't want to play that down because the opportunity to the playoff feels like it's the cherry that everybody wants on top.
We talked to PJ Fleck last night. He said the whole season's about restoring tradition, so that's what this team came in wanting to do. Again, 10 wins later. For the first time ever, they've got 7 conference wins, and row the boat seems to be something that everyone's fine with saying because it freaking works, okay? Restore.
I mean, I've been in the boat for a very long time.
You
and
jump off boats, you're in boats.
Well,
it's a lot for
very
you.
shallow, dirty water there.
Yeah.
But I love that time in Waco. But with this team here in Minnesota, the row the boat mantra has taken over the entire state, and I absolutely love it. I'm not strong enough to do so, but these boys are.
Okay, so one thing you should know about this, row the boat, everything that's sold that says row the boat on it, it actually goes to children's charity. So it's not just something they say, but like it means something too.
Well, do you know the story behind it? It's PJ Fleck. And
Beautiful.
His child that he lost a long time ago, and he's very sick, and he used to tell him,
died of a heart.
He used to tell him, just keep rowing the boat, keep pressing on. So this isn't just like a saying that doesn't mean anything. This means a lot to PJ Fleck. And by the way, it means a lot to his team.
100%.
Like
They've all bought in.
They all buy in because PJ Fleck, he's not selling anything, by the way. This is who he is. Like when you listen to him talk, it's not a used car salesman. It is literally, when he talks in his metaphors, it means something. Like, I believe it. I watch it.
All day, every day like that, too.
It's amazing.
And the row the boat mantra with his son, obviously, that passed away, he said that changed him completely. He's taking this mantra everywhere. And it's all about being where you're at. You can't see the future, but you can learn from the past. And all you can hope is that everybody else in the boat is rowing alongside of you. And I would like to argue that the entire state of Minnesota, you got kids dressing up like PJ Fleck right now. Yep. The entire state is rowing the hell out of this boat. And they have everything still in front of them, Fitz.
There is another side to this matchup, though. That's the Wisconsin side. And Jonathan Taylor is somebody that obviously...
Say his name again.
Jonathan Taylor.
Say it again.
With a little respect.
Say it again.
Jonathan freaking Taylor.
Like, this is probably the biggest superstar that doesn't get talked about in college football.
Period.
I mean, if he was in Minnesota's offense, he would get whatever he wants. Literally. They have their balance obviously is lacking in their offense, but he's one of the best kids that we've seen. He's put up some of the stupidest stats you've ever seen. So, Jonathan Taylor, we're not going to see him next year, but enjoy him while you can. And Minnesota fans know that it starts with stopping him.
You'll see him in the NFL.
And Maria, you got to spend some time with him this week. I mean, what's his mindset? Where is he right now?
Well, it's funny because he was talking about the weather, and he was like, I hope it snows. I hope it sleets. That plays into his game. He just wants the ball 20, 25 times and be able to run all over Minnesota. But, you know, he's also one of those kids that I remember talking to him when he was a freshman, and he knew how skilled he was and that he had to be a leader from day one. And Coach Chris kind of gave him the entire team, and he's kind of been running with it. He leads every single huddle. I mean, he's the guy that if something goes wrong, he's got to lead the huddle after the loss. He's got to lead it after the win. And he's handled it so well. No one's rushed for more yards than Jonathan Taylor over the course of 3 years, and there's a lot of greats in that list. He's one of the best running backs in college football history.
And he wears Skechers, apparently. Skechers.
But, I mean, it's a fair...
Nothing wrong with Skechers, guys.
Tony Romo wears.
Okay, listen. And they look very comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And nurses wear them.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves nurses.
Save some lives and some Skechers.
Y'all are selling the younger generation on Skechers right now.
I mean, we can say we want,
trying to get these deals.
I was just saying, we'd all gladly wear Skechers.
Be presented by a lot of different things.
Fitz is, what's your top 5?
My big four. My Fitz is big four.
Big four is coming soon.
Hey, you know what? I'll wear Skechers all day, every day. I do think, though, one thing about Jonathan Taylor we have to remember is that just as general sports fans, greatness becomes normalized. At some point, we become used to the greatness of LeBron. We become used to triple-doubles being part of just a daily part of certain NBA players' games, right? Like, that translates to every sport. We've just become so used to Jonathan Taylor being great that we're taking it for granted at this point. He's not getting the shine he rightfully deserves.
They're like 200 yards a game. Great. Yeah, sure. You just do that. That's what you do. So no one cares.
By the way, different style offensive line this year for Wisconsin. Not the big lumber, and they got some guys that can move to the second level for them. And keeping the ball for Minnesota is going to be a big deal. So you keep Jonathan Taylor off the field. Tanner Morgan's going to have to keep the rock because if not, this could become Jonathan Taylor show, and that's not good news for the folks here in beautiful Ski-U-Mah, row the boat, go for country.
Well, and so
we really need to be on the PA right now for you.
Right now,
it'd be much more beneficial if they could hear you.
If they could hear me right now, I would get
You'd
this
be going high.
going.
He's so happy.
It is chilly, but I would like to say
your eyes are bloodshot red, like.
I took a face snow this morning as soon as I walked out of the hotel. Welcome back to beautiful Minnesota. It feels good to be here.
Your eyes are watering.
Oh, I'm dying.
I don't know what's happening.
I have a thin T-shirt on, basically,
underneath.
underneath.
The proper attire.
I was going to wear shorts, too, but I thought the internet might lose their mind. All the old whites might be mad at me.
What about the young whites? The young whites are okay.
Oh, they would love it.
Yeah.
They would absolutely love it. They would absolutely love it. You know, it's
okay. Hey, give the people what they want.
So you guys mentioned Tanner Morgan. What can we take away from the success that Minnesota's offense had against Penn State for this game particularly? Is there something that we can translate forward?
Tanner Morgan's really, really good. If you think he's a game manager, you're not watching football. Like he makes difficult throws look easy. He's just. Do y'all know the story behind him and how he got here? It's pretty interesting. He never visited this campus one time.
Showed up, yeah.
He was at Western. He was going with PJ Fleck. He was going to row the boat, but in a different city. And as soon as PJ Fleck got this job, he called him and asked him if he wanted to come. He was like, sure. Never visited campus one time. Just showed up literally for a scholarship here. Doesn't turn the football over. Can make great plays. Makes very tough throws over the middle. By the way, has dynamic playmakers on the outside.
Yeah, they got dudes out there.
They got dudes. Quarterback play, check Minnesota. Playmakers, check Minnesota. Home field advantage, check Minnesota. There's a lot of things to like about Minnesota.
So there's a lot of things to like about some other games today too. It is rivalry week, which is never easy to say. But as we look at the other, oh my God, as we look at the other rivalry games of rivalry week, there are some big ones. Let's start with the game. Ohio State, Michigan. Obviously, Ohio State now they've flip-flopped LSU, the #1 team in all the land. I've been saying it all week. Michigan has never won a game as an underdog in Jim Harbaugh's tenure as a head coach. But what's more surprising is they're the only team in all of FBS that hasn't won as an underdog during that time. I'm not saying it can't happen.
Today.
I'm just saying the stats there, Pollack. I mean,
until today.
Michigan pulls off the upset today.
Really?
I thought they upset Notre Dame. No.
They were favored. They were ranked less. But
we're going with Vegas.
What did you see in Ohio State that makes you think that they're not going to show up and show out today?
I think Michigan's doing this big time.
Okay.
I did not like what I saw from Ohio State in the second. If I'm nitpicking, listen, they've been great. A bunch of turnovers. Justin Fields put the ball on the ground a lot.
Yeah.
The offense looked a lot more human in the second half. I think Don Brown and this defense, too, learned a lot from last year. They got 62 put on him last year.
And that was with Chase Winovich. That was with Devin. That was with like all the goons that they had on defense, and it didn't matter.
I think this is going to be a fourth quarter great game, and don't be surprised if Michigan pulls this out.
Chase Young, who came back massively last week, I think he's going to do much of the same this week. I think Shea Patterson's going to be running for his life. But I'm liking a good upset up there in your eyes, Pollack.
It'll be fun.
Eddie George told me they're going to win by 38, Ohio State. So I like the way his brain operates.
I love Eddie George. He could not be more wrong. Okay. He could not be more wrong.
We've seen a couple different versions of Shea Patterson, though. Like early in the season, he was a little careless with the football. That's obviously
there's two versions of Shea Patterson. The bad version was week 1 through 9. The last 4 weeks, it's 12-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He's got to figure it out.
Right. So what's the difference? What figured out? What clicked?
More RPOs, more running him. That's what clicked. They're using him better. He's more comfortable with Josh Gaddis in the offense, and you can tell it's big-time turnaround. They're running the football more efficiently. This guy right here, Nico Collins, that's not Nico Collins, that's Bell. Nico Collins.
A guy named Nico Collins.
Yes, he's the guy to take it down the field and making big plays, but this offense, they know since the Penn State game, I really trust this offense.
And remember how much they had to go through. Josh Gaddis started up in the booth, and then he came down to the field. Like, they were trying to figure out how to just communicate with each other. They weren't able to, he wasn't able to receive the offense yet. Like, I really do feel like it took half the season for him to figure out what his coach wanted, and now it's actually working. They're able to execute it now.
Hey, I'm on your side here. Shea Patterson's a
gamer,
though. He's a gamer. He has become one here. Now that they're doing the RPOs, putting it in his hands a little bit more.
The Shea that beat Alabama, huh? He's a Dragon Slayer.
Oh.
If he beats Ohio State, officially you're a Dragon Slayer. But it's only when they come to your house.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Shea.
You guys can talk on the hope you want. I think Ohio State's going to thump them. Let's look at another game. Obviously, all eyes always on the Iron Bowl. Drama for days in this one. Alabama taking on Auburn. Auburn has 3 losses, so everything's gone off the rails in some ways for Auburn. But let's remember, they have 3 losses to 3 top 10 teams, and this is an Auburn defense that is nasty. Mac Jones is going to have to come out and play well. Maria, what are you looking for here? Is there anything you can see from Alabama that's going to
an actual upset. Can you see an upset here?
Whoa.
Every time Alabama goes to Auburn, I'm like, you know what, 50-50 chance. I don't know what's going to happen. They won 2 of the last 3 when they play at home. Their defense is ridiculous. Those boys don't want to lose. 2 of the last 3.
2 of the last 3.
Doesn't
Pretty good
matter
odds.
what the ranking is.
Last time Alabama won a national championship. They beat them.
They beat their at home.
So you're feeling good?
I think it'll be competitive. If you're watching Bo Nix, I don't know how you ride with him. Like, I've seen severe growth from Shea Patterson. I can point to things that, and I think Bo Nix has gotten better, but he misses too. Here's my best analogy.
He's Malzahn's guy, though.
He misses too many layups. He misses too many free throws. He's going to hit some threes and make some big plays, but simple screens where you got to hit guys in the number in strides, he misses. Simple slants, he misses too many of. I think Mac Jones is a far better quarterback from what I've seen, and I don't know if I can ride with Bo Nix yet. He's still growing, he's still developing, and he still makes too many mistakes.
I like Bo Nix a little bit. I don't think he gets the win here, but you got to remember Tua Tagovailoa was the exception to this Alabama offense. I think Mac Jones kind of puts them back in their comfort zone before Tua got here. Let the offensive line, let the defense, let the running back do the thing, just manage the game. So I think it's going to be a close one for sure. I think Alabama wins, but for the College Football Playoff Committee, they're thinking that Alabama has to win by like 30 if they want to put on a show here. I don't see that happening, obviously.
By the way, they're wrong.
Really?
They're wrong. Alabama's very much in this thing. They got a big stage, big opportunity. If you think Alabama's out of it, I know you want Alabama to be out of it. They ain't out of it yet.
So you think Utah, even with the win over Oregon, Alabama gets a win over Auburn, everything else holds the way we think?
Has to beat Oregon.
True.
That has to happen first.
Oregon didn't look good last week, though.
No, they didn't. But Utah still, remember, they lost to USC.
Yep.
They have 0 quality wins. Alabama has a chance to have a much better quality win right now. By the way, remember who beat Oregon already?
Auburn.
Auburn already beat Oregon. So you're going to say Utah
common opponent is big.
I mean, I think if you think Alabama's out of it, I think you're wrong.
But for all of this conversation about Alabama getting in, hard to talk at this cold, I'll also say that the Big 12 saying, hold my beer to it. Like the committee just told you suddenly they value the Big 12 again. They popped Baylor back up there. So if you're Oklahoma, you have the shot to get your way into a Big 12 championship game.
For some reason,
You'll
I have
get
a
more
hard time
resume
believing
winners.
that Oklahoma would make it in over, say, a Utah.
Are we back there?
I just saw the or came out of nowhere.
I don't see
You're a little hacksaw Jim Duggan-ish here, which I kind of like. I'm all in for that.
I'll tell you what, I don't know how you don't hold the oar whenever you're here, you know what I mean? It just makes me feel good.
Makes you feel better?
It does. It does.
Comfort zone.
But Utah is their only time they played against a ranked opponent, they lost. I mean, that's kind of tough for me to think about.
One time Alabama played against a ranked opponent, they lost. But it was a very good ranked opponent.
Number 2 team in the country.
Very good
They
ranked
gave up 614 yards to Ole Miss. That's why I think LSU dropped to number 2. But you're 100% right.
All right, so since I'm trying to get the Big 12 a little love, let's also give this matchup today between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State some love. Oklahoma number 7, number 21 Oklahoma State. That's another rivalry game we got all eyes on. And Maria, like I said, I mean, when you think about what the committee, who suddenly, they didn't value Baylor, and now all of a sudden, bam, the Pac-12 seems like they're out of it. Baylor's back. So Oklahoma's got to be looking at it saying, we got real estate left ahead of us.
Well, and the good thing for Oklahoma is they could have a rematch, too.
Right.
So that's the opportunity that they have to right the wrong that they had, or to make it come out from the very beginning playing very well. I know they had to come back and win that game, but that could be a good win for them at the end of the day. And I think that's the question, like, who has a couple of good wins left on their schedule? Not everyone does. Alabama does. Oklahoma has an opportunity to do it. Utah kind of a little bit because they get to play Auburn, but not everyone has that left.
I want to ask an honest question, and I want y'all to be honest. When you watch Oklahoma, do you see sensational? Do you even see really good?
I think you see glimpses of really good on the offensive side.
Glimpses.
Yes,
but
glimpses.
Even the offense is not near as consistent as
Agreed.
it used to be. Like, it used to be an overpowering offense that you go, they're going to get 30.
As soon as they get on the field.
Now it's like the passing game is kind of up. And listen, y'all can give me all the Jalen Hurts stats you want. He struggles throwing the football. And look at Kansas State. Who do we want to point to? Iowa State. Like, every week
but I think,
is a
too,
struggle.
we're also basing
TCU
Oklahoma's offense on, we've seen 2 Heisman Trophy winners come in through that school. So our expectation is already here.
Yeah.
We knew what Jalen was when he was going to OU.
Yeah.
Everything about him wasn't going to change.
Hey, now I will say this, though. Oklahoma's defense has not performed well until like the last 5-6 quarters. They've actually started to turn it up there, so Jalen Hurts and Lincoln Riley have a little bit of help. But for me, I think Oklahoma is a team that has showed glimpses. They've never really put it together, and I agree with that. Jalen Hurts is a little reckless with the ball, I think. Like, he throws it into some suspect situations. When everybody was talking about him being an NFL quarterback, I was like, I don't know. Love Lincoln Riley's big brain, though. Love what he's got going, and I love the mullet on Gundy. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of who
Gundy.
To Paul Pollack, to your point, I feel like...
What is it about, Mike?
It's the mullet.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, if you're a grown... I'm a man. He's like 50 at this point, and you're just willing to grow a mullet. I love it.
Yeah. My favorite part is he said he literally did it to annoy his kids. He kept it to piss them off.
Which is even better, by the way.
He also explained last year that his mullet's making the school money in free advertising. The number of times that he's on TV for.
He gets it. There's a guy that gets it. There's a guy that gets it.
One more game to get in real quick that we want to take a look at. Notre Dame at Stanford. Notre Dame number 16. Stanford, though, the wheels have fallen off for Stanford. So this is supposed to be a rivalry game, but things have just gone haywire. They're 4-7 right now. This thing just feels like all of a sudden David Shaw, who every single year was he's going to be an NFL coach candidate, suddenly it feels like things have fallen apart for him. Right, it's right.
I used to always think that Stanford was like one of the best jobs in the country, because what are the expectations really for you at Stanford? And he had a system that worked. He had a bunch of big, huge dudes. They were known for toughness. They were known for grinding ball games. Like this year, you don't see it at all.
No, not this year. Last year, you didn't see it. This is a trend. Like the defense, remember, it used to be like the intellectual brutality. And now it's just intellectual.
Now they've had
they're lacking the brutality.
I got a chance to go up there to Stanford, California, not Palo Alto, by the way. I got corrected by a lot of nerds on the internet that went to Stanford that said it's not Palo Alto, it's Stanford.
So you went to Palo Alto. How'd it go?
Well, it was pretty good. I got a chance to see some billionaires, did that whole thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I ran into a billionaire in the bathroom, but the offensive line has not been together for them all year, and that's a big part of their offense when you run a pro-style offense, having a good offensive line. I think Coach Shaw understands that. They got a younger team that's going to come together, but they've looked pretty bad. They're 16.5-point dogs today at home against Notre Dame. That's nowhere where you want to be as a Stanford Cardinal. By the way, not the bird.
No, it's a color. Oh,
it's a
sorry.
color.
Sorry, Rudolph.
Oh, you just face. Oh my.
You know what? I had it coming. I had it coming.
I have a wingspan. It's a lot.
Yeah, I wish I had that wingspan. By the way, you don't need this.
Yeah,
He's
no,
got
I'm
this.
not. I know his rivals this thing. Let me tell you,
dog.
I mean, it is. I got layers on layers. Like I got a fancy Christmas jacket, and then I got a fancy Christmas shirt, and I got a T-shirt, and I've got an undershirt, and I am still cold. I do not like this at all. I don't do this.
The good news is that Fitz doesn't do everything outside. Sometimes they let him go into a studio, and we're your Big Four for Countdown to Game Day, but let's watch Fitz's Big Four.
Hey, row the boat.
It's time for Fitz's Big Four. This week, we take a look at the top 4 rivalry week, rivalry games. We start this thing at number 4, Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma has a re-energized shot at the CFP playoff, but in order to get there, they got to beat number 21 Oklahoma State in the Bedlam Series. Did you know that the Bedlam Series nickname between these two schools actually comes from their wrestling programs? Yeah, that's not a misspeak. The crowds at wrestling matches were so chaotic, they started nicknaming it the Bedlam Series. It stuck with it, and now that's the next nickname for all of them. Next up at number 3, Florida State. So different rivalries touch different generations. From 1990 to 2000, the Florida State matchup had both teams ranked in the top 10 every single year. And they have fun nicknames, the Choke and Dope, Swindle in the Swamp. Oh, and this year, Florida's number 11. Somehow with all the questions about the Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10 teams getting respect, we forget the SEC doing pretty well. At number 2, speaking of the SEC, the Iron Bowl. For the first time since 2011, the SEC championship game won't feature any team that plays in the Iron Bowl. That's how good it's been of late. Above and beyond just the in-state rivalry, the stakes have made this one one of the best in all the land. Not to mention historic moments. You can still say kick 6 and make a whole family argue when you're in a split household. Plus, Roll Tide, War Damn Eagle, annoying calls that everybody knows. At number 1 on the list, if you're going to nickname your rivalry the game, you better be the game. That's Ohio State, Michigan. This year is the 23rd time these teams will face off at the game, where both teams are in the AP top 10. Now, Ohio State is the top team in all the land. They're facing Jim Harbaugh, who is still number 1 a game as the Michigan head coach as an underdog. In fact, during Harbaugh's tenure, Michigan's the only team in all of the FBS that hasn't won as an underdog. That's our top 4. You tell us what we missed at Jason Fitz. That's Fitz's Big Four, brought to you by Samsung QLED TV. Signs everywhere, guys. These signs, epic, all over the place. I mean,
that was my favorite.
Which one?
Never been this good. Don't know what to write. Right back there.
It's hard when you get to the top.
Behind the Morgan one, right there. Yeah.
Never been this good. Don't know.
Never been this good. Don't know what to write. That's amazing. That's amazing.
A lot of faces of Big Cat out here. Big, handsome Wisconsin Big Cat. A lot of signs. This place is beautiful here.
By the way, they just played jump around.
Not good. The DJ just turned heel. The DJ just got booed out of this place.
Not smart. You gotta be,
oh, they turned it off quick though. They turned it off. They turned it off quick. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Well, guys, it looks as though it's almost time for game day. So make that turn to ESPN for the next 3 hours. We're getting you ready for Rivalry Week. David will be here.
Nailed it.
P-Matt will be here. I'll be here because I ain't going nowhere. If I'm out in the snow one time, you're going to get it again. We're going to be here getting you set for Minnesota taking on Wisconsin. Make sure you watch it 3:30 on ABC. Thanks for joining us on Countdown to Game Day presented by Samsung QLED. We'll see you on ESPN.
Where are the boats, Sky? You all go Gophers.
Well done.
I can't feel my fingers.
Oh, yeah.